Chapter 13. Motion and Time. Let's begin. We already know that when an object changes its position with respect to its surroundings, it is said to be in motion. We have also learnt motion of various types. Motion in a straight line is called rectilinear motion, whereas motion in a circular path is called circular motion. Some objects cover short distance in long time while some cover the same distance in a short time. Slow and fast motion. If we compare two cars racing on a straight track, the one which takes less time to finish the race is said to be faster. In other words, we can say that, for a given distance, the one who covers it in the less time is said to have a fast motion. From the above discussion, it is clear that two factors are required to decide the fast and slow motion. Distance covered by a body. Time take to cover that distance. Both these factors are combined to get a new factor called speed. The speed of an object is defined as the distance traveled by it in unit time. With the help of speed, we can easily conclude that which one is fastest and which one is slowest. Mathematically, speed is equal to distance upon time taken. Symbolically, S, speed is equal to d distance upon t, time. Or S is equal to d upon t. S, meter per second is equal to d, meter per t, second. Thus, SI unit of speed is meter per second, ms. So an object that moves faster covers more distance in a second as compared to an object that moves slower. Example. A truck covers a distance of 5,400 meters in 1800 seconds. Calculate its speed. Solution. Distance traveled by the truck is equal to 5,400 meters. Time taken is equal to 1800 seconds. Speed is equal to distance traveled upon time taken is equal to 5,400 upon 1800 is equal to 3 meter per second. Your school bus may not run with a constant speed for long. Sometimes it speeds up, sometimes it slows down on the way to school. In such cases we calculate average speed. Average speed is defined as the total distance traveled divided by the total time taken to travel that distance. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Another commonly used unit is kilometer per hour. When we talk about speed of aeroplanes and cars, it would be more appropriate to use kilometer per hour than meter per second. Let us calculate the above problem in kilometer per hour. Speed is equal to kilometer per hour. Distance traveled by the truck is equal to 5,400 meters. Distance traveled in kilometers is equal to 5,400 upon 1,000, equal to 5.4 kilometers. Time taken is equal to 1800 seconds. Time in hours is equal to 1800 upon 3600, equal to 0.5 hours. Speed of the bus is equal to 5.4 upon 0.5, equal to 10.8 km per hour. The speed of a vehicle is measured by a device called speedometer, which is fitted on the dashboard and in scooters or motorcycles on the top. It is used to display the speed and distance traveled by the vehicle. The instrument will give reading of the speed and distance at the same time. Odometer gives the distance. Time. We do innumerable things for which we need to know the time. Our life runs through time. Have you ever wondered how this world ran when there were no clocks and watches? Let us learn about them. Ancient ways of measuring time. In ancient times, periodic events such as sunrise, sunset and phases of the moon were used for measuring time. People kept track of the passage of time by keeping track of events that were repeated, such as sunrise, the number of sunrises between two full moons, the number of full moons between two seasons, etc. As the civilizations grew, more ways of measuring times were devised. Sunrise and sunset can be taken as two events. The period between sunrise and sunset on a particular day would be the time between the sunrise and sunset. Day, month and year were the bigger units of time. How earlier people used to measure time for smaller intervals. Let us learn about that. Sundial. People used an instrument called sundials to keep track of time. The movement of the shadow of a rod stuck upright in the ground, whose shadow changed direction with the movement of the sun across the sky, was used to make sundials. Hourglass or sand clock. An hourglass consisted of two rounded glass bulbs connected by a narrow neck of glass. The top bulb was filled with sand particles, which streamed down from the top bulb into the bottom bulb, giving the time. Water clock. Water is allowed to flow out from a hole made at the bottom-shaped container into another ball kept below. The emptying of the water-filled ball to different levels corresponds to specific time periods. Candle clock. It uses candle with the nails put into it at fixed intervals. The candle is kept on a metal plate. When the candle burns to the point where the nail is fixed, the nail falls on the metal plate, producing a sound. Pendulum clock. A major breakthrough came in 1656, when Christian Huygens made the first pendulum clock. It consisted of weights and a swinging pendulum. These clocks were much more reliable than the earlier ones. But all these instruments were unable to give accurate timings. The need for accurate time measurement led to the invention of clock. It had weight that would slowly lower down and move the gears. The gear then moved a hand which showed the hour. Atomic clock. Another major advancement in timekeeping was the invention of the atomic clock, which is very accurate and the most scientifically designed clock. It is maintained at National Physical Laboratory, NPL, at Delhi, which is used to beep before the morning news. Table showing units of time. The SI unit of time is second. But for the sake of convenience for measuring longer durations, higher multiples of seconds are used, which are shown below. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, 60 into 60 seconds, equal to 3600 seconds. 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 month is equal to 30 days. 1 year is equal to 12 months, equal to 365.25 days. Simple pendulum. It is also one of the best providers of time. Simple pendulum consists of heavy mass suspended from a fixed point and allowed to swing freely under the influence of gravity. The freely hanging object, the bob, suspended by a string, is shown in figure. When the bob moves from one mean position, resting position of the bob, and returns to the same position, it is said to complete one oscillation. Distance and time graphs. Do you think a vehicle travels with a constant speed on the road? No, a vehicle traveling on a road does not run with a constant speed. A graphical representation of distance and time would give a clear picture of its speed at different points of time. Distance-time graph makes interpretation of motion easier. A graph consists of two perpendicular lines meeting at a common point. The common meeting point O is known as the origin of the graph, while the perpendicular lines are known as the axis of the graph. There are many ways of representing distance and time data. In a distance-time graph, distance is always taken along the y-axis while the time is taken along the x-axis. This type of chart is called a line chart or line graph. Let us depict the motion of car through axis of a graph. Drawing a graph for a uniform motion. A body is said to be in uniform motion if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. The distance traveled in every second is equal, and if we plot a graph for these data, the graph would be a straight line. A body is said to be in non-uniform motion if the speed does not remain constant, that is, the distance covered in every minute of time is not equal. As a result, the graph will show zigzag line. If a body moves with a zero speed, the distance time graph is shown as a horizontal or parallel line to the time axis.